What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about BLUZELLE today at the request of BL Spiegel. We're talking about this one for you, my friends. So I'm looking at it here. I know a couple of you have had questions about BLUZELLE and why I'm so bullish on it, and I'm just going to state it first and foremost why I like BLUZELLE so much. So in crypto, in blockchain technology, I think there's a few key niche environments, whatever that word is, for it to be optimal, right? For it to be very useful and necessary. Okay, first and foremost, finances. Absolutely, it's got to use some finances. You know, digital security as well, but like that, finances need digital security in a digital world. Gaming, video games, right? Blockchain, like with the video game sector, kind of makes sense in my opinion because you can really NFTs. Like how this is a new thing, like it's not a new thing now, but the last cycle promoted NFTs. NFTs are something that anybody who's been in crypto for a while, who like really understands it, like that wasn't a new concept in the last cycle. Like you knew that that's what was going to happen. You were going to have individualized assets in the digital world, and for video games, that's a big deal because you could have the sword of Valhalla, the shield of Dragonskin, whatever, and maybe there's only 10 of them that exist in a certain game sphere, but you own it physically, right? Where in most video games, if you play a video game like Call of Duty, for example, every single person can get the same gun, right? They can get the same gun with the same skins, and maybe they can't. You can't carry those over to a new game. You know what I mean? You literally can't carry it over to the next game. So with an NFT, with it being in cryptocurrency, you would be able to carry it over to the next game because you own it cryptographically. You own it on the blockchain. And if the video game is on the blockchain, you own that asset. You can transfer it over. Maybe it doesn't make you more powerful. Maybe it's just a skin. Maybe it is something that everybody can own, or maybe it's like a collector's piece that's like rare, and you know what I mean. But video games, and I'm not even touching on like really the full potential of it, but that's just kind of a general idea. But video games, in my opinion, have a very big role to play in blockchain technology and in the crypto space. Voting, voting, like digital online voting is going to be something that crypto will be able to prevent fraudulence from occurring. And I know a lot of mail-in voting and like online voting, there's, who knows, maybe it's a conspiracy, maybe it's not, but there are a lot of rumors of fraudulence in that space. You won't be able to be fraudulent on a blockchain. You just won't be able to, unless the whole blockchain's corrupt, and in which case, I mean, that can happen too. But I think voting is going to really come in handy. There's a bunch of other things, man, that I'm just not even thinking of. But with that in mind, BlueZel is it's a data storage blockchain for gaming. That's what it is, and that's why I kind of went into such detailed lengths with gaming. But that's what it is. BlueZel itself, why I'm so interested in it is because BLZ USD on Binance here, this is the most history that I can find for it. Came about in 2018, early 2018. It just went straight down. For most cryptos that have been through 1-2 bear cycles, it's very rare to see higher lows. In most cryptos, there's plenty of them that have higher lows. Okay, it's not. I shouldn't say it's very rare, but it's not as common. Generally speaking, bear cycle after bear cycle, you don't get this. You have one good cycle, and then after that, you're done. That's most cryptos. Okay, you become irrelevant. You're done. But this bear cycle was very dramatic, where this one was a lot more tame. You can see it was absolutely more tame, right? We had a lot of volume coming out of this last bear cycle. If we look at the volume on a monthly, the highest volume we had was 1.34 billion coins in a month traded, and that was, at the highest that was here, at the lowest that was here, and then we had this over here. It looks like there's a lot less volume, but if we go to BlueZel, BLZ, USDT, it's got less history. But again, remember that volume was, what was it? It was if I can get rid of this, come on now. 1.34, essentially 1.35. BLZ USDT on Binance, the volume here was at 7.98, almost 8 billion. So dramatically higher volume. And this came in, to put it in perspective, that came in here on this higher low. So most volume we saw here was like for the time being, was here, right, at lower prices, dramatically lower prices. Here at a higher low, still within this candle, but ultimately it closed higher than this one did. At higher prices, relatively speaking, we saw dramatically more volume. So not only do we have a higher low, not only do we have more tame bear cycles to go, or that have been presented, we also have more interest on a volume perspective, and not just on a volume of tokens, but on the volume of US dollars, because it's more expensive up here than it was down here. So volume increasing cycle after cycle, in my opinion, is a good sign. I do think gaming tokens, there were a lot of people who assumed that gaming tokens were going to take off last cycle, myself included, and some of them did, some of them, a lot of them didn't. We didn't really have like a gaming cycle. It was more of a meme cycle, metaverse cycle, and that's kind of where the GameFi kind of came into the idea, but I feel like it didn't really take off. I think this cycle GameFi will take off, and I think that like gaming tokens, that anything that revolves around video games has a chance of doing well. So BLUZELLE moved up high and tight, nice consolidation here. It just really hasn't moved up since. I do think that it's going to break out and see more spectacular movements upwards. I do think that by the end of this cycle, we could see, you're at 33 cents, I think we could see a $100 price by the end of the cycle. If we take this relative high to the cycle low that we have, $1.42, $3.70, those are the minimum expected targets. But if you get up to these deep extensions, where is it, man? Why am I missing it? Maybe it is the all-time high to the all-time low. Maybe that's what it is. Nope, that's not it. Maybe the 1886 being at $86. The main reason why I think you can get to $100 is just for the market cap value itself. If we go to BLZ here, that 1886 up there near $86, that also stands out in my opinion. But you're at 141 million, low cap coin, but you've been around for a while. You've got more interest now on a volume perspective. You've got higher lows cycle to cycle. If you were to move up to, let's say, $100 from here, right? That would give you a 300x, essentially 305x, 300x on 141 million. 100x would be 14 billion. 300x would be 42 billion, roughly. 42, and it's a little bit more than that, so let's call it $45 billion. $45 billion is absolutely an achievable market cap, you guys, especially for a coin like this. I think it's absolutely achievable. So that's why, and $100 being a nice round number, that to me makes a little bit of sense as well. But maybe it doesn't see that. Maybe it only sees a $30 price. That's still like a 90x from its current price. Maybe it only sees a $10 price. It's still a 31x, But I definitely think incredible prices, incredible gains are there. Am I guaranteeing that it'll see $100? No, that is a number that I'm personally looking for. That is something that I think is absolutely possible for this. But being that it's got such a low market cap, again, and it's been around for a long time, and it's been resilient, and there's more volume interest in it, I think when it breaks out to new all-time highs, it's going to run like it's never run before. That's just my genuine interpretation of it. So anyways, looking at the more day-to-day stuff, it's been boring for a little bit, sure, but it's been boring for a while, to be fair. The daily RSI looks a little bearish, but it looks fine. We could move lower, but we're holding that 123 moving average. We're actually at it now for the first time in a while. We could go lower. I wouldn't expect it, but I would welcome it if it happens. But 33 cents now, I think that we could see prices move up to 40, 41 cents, maybe all the way up to 46 cents, 50 cents in a very short amount of time. If not, we could be working our way down, find a slightly lower high, get lower lows, working our way down to inevitably go to the promised land, which every time I think it's forgotten about, it just seems to become more possible. But then once I address it, it's like, nope, just kidding. We're going to go up from here. But maybe we go down to 18.6 cents, around there. Maybe we do. And if we do, I'm going to back up the truck, man. I'm going to buy a lot down here. But if we don't, that's okay. I've got my bags loaded. I'm ready for it if it just goes up. But would love to see it down there. Very, very bullish looking RSI. Yes, there's bearish divergence, but that divergence is already played out. So really you're just maintaining these high readings on the weekly. Very resilient, man. Very, very, very resilient. But again, maybe we do need to cool off first, and then move higher, it's really hard to say, because I feel like every time I get bearish on this thing, that's whenever it does bullish things. And obviously it probably wouldn't just do that, but something like this, right? Something like this. So right now, all that speculation aside, looking at it for what it is, let's see, low to high here. If you can close above the 618 today, that would greatly diminish my opinion, my ideas, my beliefs that we go below 20 cents. If we close above that 618 today, that would be like a quick little fake break below 618, got a quick recovery. We'd probably start moving up higher after that, or like look to move higher than this 382, potentially into the 40 cent, 50 cent zone, stuff like that. But if we do close today below the 618 or lower, if we can close it red, especially below the 123, those 20 cent targets or lower, they come back on the table for sure. So right now I'm keeping them off the table, keeping them on hand, but I'm not putting them on the table just yet. So we'll see how it goes. But looking at the 4 hour does look a little bearish. It does. So I'm really curious to see how the next couple days close. If we get this like lower high, we come down, get a lower low like that, that would lead me to believe that we're going down to that 20 cent area, which I would welcome that personally. But I got nothing really concrete to say here, you guys. I don't know. I really don't know, because again, every time I'm bearish on this thing, it goes up. Anytime I'm bullish, it's boring, and then inevitably it drops like this. So let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see what it does for the rest of the week. All in all, though, for the cycle, man, I'm very, very, very optimistic on this thing. I think it has a lot of room to grow. I think gaming tokens, especially OG coins, which I would classify this as an OG coin, anything that's been around for multiple cycles and has held up relatively well, I think it's going to see phenomenal growth this cycle. And I think this definitely fits that category, especially being at such a low market cap that it is right now. Circulating supply versus total supply, it's pretty diluted. So yeah, anyways, that's BlueZell. If you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. See you on the next one, if it'll let me.